You know what's funny? People always say, you never forget the worst day of your life. Well, I didn't have to wait for a car crash or a breakup to get mine. All it took was one delayed flight, one racist old pilot, and one seat assignment from hell. My name's Layla Brooks. I'm 38 years old, and I swear to you I thought this was going to be the most boring Tuesday of my life. Spoiler alert, I was dead wrong. So, picture this. It's 7:43 a.m. I'm standing in the security line at JFK, clutching my sad little travel coffee like it's the only thing keeping me alive. The line's moving slower than a turtle in quicksand. The couple in front of me is arguing about how many carry-ons you're allowed. There's a dude behind me breathing so hard I can smell his onion bagel. And I'm already sweating because of course the AC is broken. I finally drag myself to the gate. Flight 1127 to Atlanta. Delayed. Awesome. When I get to the counter, the gate agent, this lady with the energy of a DMV clerk who's so done, looks at my ticket and says, "Oh, we had to move you up front, Miss Brooks, closer to the cockpit like she's handing me a winning lottery ticket." I'm thinking, front row? That's usually for the fancy people. This is either a blessing or a curse. Turns out it was the second one. So I board the plane and immediately, it smells like regret and recycled air. I shuffle past the business bros in their overpriced headphones, the moms juggling babies and juice boxes, and that one guy who's already mad because someone took his overhead bin space. And there it is, my new seat. Row 2A, right next to the goddamn cockpit. Lucky me. I sit down. Next to me, a retired grandpa type wearing a Vietnam vet cap and talking on speakerphone to someone named Carol about his cholesterol. Behind me, a lady arguing with her teenage son about how TikTok is rotting his brain. And across the aisle, a middle-aged dude already passed out with his mouth wide open like he's auditioning for a sleep apnea commercial. I'm not even buckled in yet when I hear a voice that makes my skin crawl. "All right, folks. Welcome. Aboard Flight 1127. I'm your captain today, Jonathan Reed. We're expecting a smooth ride, so sit back and relax." Smooth ride my ass. Because then Captain Reed steps out of the cockpit. And man, you know when someone walks like the hallway belongs to them? That's him. White guy, late 50s, face like a worn-out leather boot. You can tell he probably yells at teenagers for standing on his lawn. The kind of dude who thinks the good old days ended when they let women vote. He struts past the rows like he's Caesar surveying his empire. And when he looks at me, I can feel it. That look, the one that says you don't belong here. It's subtle, like a mosquito bite you don't notice at first until it starts itching like hell. I glance away. Not today, Satan. I'm too tired for this. Fast forward 15 minutes, the boarding's almost done. People still cramming their emotional baggage into the overhead bins like it's going to fit. Babies crying. Some guy up front complaining about the in-flight menu like it's Michelin star dining. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to breathe, thinking, if I can just get through this flight without losing my mind, it'll be a miracle. But the universe had other plans. Just before takeoff, I stand up and head toward the front to ask the flight attendant if I can switch seats. Why? Because sitting 2 feet from the cockpit with that energy radiating off the pilot wasn't exactly my idea of comfort. The flight attendant, sweet girl, maybe 25, nervous smile, says she'll check. That's when he appears. Captain Reed, blocking the aisle like a human brick wall. He sizes me up, eyes trailing from my hair to my shoes. Then he leans in loud, enough for everyone in earshot to hear. "What's the matter, sweetheart? Afraid we're not flying you back to Africa?" The whole front row goes dead silent. Even Grandpa Cholesterol stops texting Carol. I swear you could have heard a pin drop now. I've dealt with a lot of garbage in my life, but this was next level. I look him dead in the eyes and say, calm as hell, "No, Captain, I was just asking about a seat change. Didn't realize casual racism was part of the in-flight entertainment." The flight attendant's face turns pale. The guy behind me lets out this awkward cough like he wants to disappear. Captain Reed smiles. Not the friendly kind. The kind of smile you give when you think you've won. "Well, little lady," he says. "Oh, no. I run this plane. If you don't like it, there's the door." And yeah, the plane was already taxiing, so I sit back down, buckle my seatbelt, and I can feel it. The weight of 100 eyes pretending they didn't hear what just happened. Classic. My heart's pounding like a drum solo in my chest, but I don't flinch. I don't react because I've learned one thing about people like Captain Reed. They want a show. And I wasn't about to give it to him. I close my eyes, take a deep breath, and think, just survive the flight, Hila. Just get home. But what I didn't know was that the worst part of this flight hadn't even started yet. So Tom, here's the thing about flying. People always think the worst thing that can happen on a plane is turbulence or a crying baby, or that one guy who takes his shoes off like he's in his damn living room. But let me tell you, none of that compares to what happened next. We're in the air now. 35,000 FT above people who have no idea how messy this flight just got. The engines are humming, the seatbelt sign's still on, and everyone's pretending to mind their business, scrolling, snoring, sipping their overpriced sodas. And me? I'm staring out the window, trying to breathe through the rage crawling up my throat like a damn wildfire. Every 5 seconds, I can feel Captain Reed's smug little smirk in the back of my mind, like it's branded there. But it's fine, right? I'm thinking whatever. Let him rot in his own ignorance. I'll be on the ground in 2 hours and I'll forget this idiot ever existed. Yeah, I was so wrong. About 20 minutes in, we hit some light turbulence. Nothing crazy, just a few bumps. People start whispering, clutching their armrests like the plane's about to fall out of the sky. And who strolls out of the cockpit like he's doing a goddamn fashion show? Captain Reed. The man's got this weird energy like he's looking for a fight, like he's been waiting for someone, me, to cross him again. He struts past the front row, makes eye contact with me, and stops right there, middle of the aisle, everyone watching. Hey, sweetheart, he says loud as hell. You good now? Settled in, or you still need a seat closer to the back where you belong? The way he says it, it's not even subtle anymore. It's like he wants the whole damn plane to laugh. I don't say a word. I just stare at him because I know people like him thrive on reaction, but he's not done. Captain Reed leans in way too close, and out of nowhere, he spits right in my face. Yeah, you heard me. A grown-ass man, a pilot, spits in my face at $35,000 FT. You ever seen time freeze? Because that's exactly what happened. The old dude next to me gasped so loud I thought he might choke on his dentures. The woman behind me audibly whispers, "Oh my God." The flight attendant drops the can of ginger ale she was holding. It's dead silent, except for the sound of my own heartbeat in my ears. I wipe my face slowly with a napkin. My hands are shaking, not from fear, but from pure, boiling nuclear rage. And then I laugh. Yeah, I laugh because at that point it was so ridiculous, so unreal that all I could do was laugh. Captain Reed looks at me like I've lost my damn mind. You think this is funny? He snaps. And I look him dead in the eyes and say, "No, Captain, but I'm going to laugh real hard when this comes back to bite you." He scoffs, rolls his eyes like he's the king of the skies, and I'm just some peasant daring to breathe his air. Then he turns around and struts back into the cockpit like he didn't just commit federal assault in front of 50 witnesses. The whole cabin's still dead silent. Some folks pretend they didn't see it. Some are staring at me like I'm a ticking time bomb, and a few I can tell they're wondering why I haven't lost my mind yet. But me, I just lean back in my seat, close my eyes, and start counting down the minutes. Because what Captain Reed didn't know was that this wasn't the end of the story. It was just the beginning. You ever had that moment when you know the storm's coming, but everyone around you is pretending it's sunny outside? That's what the next hour felt like after Captain Reed strutted back into the cockpit. Like he didn't just spit in a black woman's face in front of a cabin full of people. The energy on that plane shifted. Everyone was stiff, awkward. The tension was so thick you could slice it with one of those plastic butter knives they give you with your sad in-flight meal. I could feel eyes on me. Some people peeking over their headrests. Others glancing at me like I was a live grenade. And you know what? I didn't blame them because I wasn't moving, wasn't crying, wasn't screaming. I was just sitting there calm. Too calm. Like the moment before a volcano erupts. Meanwhile, the flight attendants are pretending nothing happened, walking past me with these tight, uncomfortable smiles like, please don't explode, please don't explode. And then it happens. My phone buzzes. Now, before you say anything, yeah, I know, airplane mode, but not everyone follows the rules, especially when your phone has access to a line most people don't even know exists. I glanced down. One message, no name, no number, just 3 words. Confirm flight 1127. My stomach drops, but I don't react. Not yet. I type back. Confirmed. Passenger compromised. Another buzz. This time a call. I glance around. Everyone's distracted. Headphones in, scrolling, half asleep. I answer a calm, cold voice on the other end. Agent Brooks, do you require extraction? I don't respond immediately. Instead, I glance at the cockpit door. Captain Reed's voice is crackling over the speakers, some nonsense about weather patterns and estimated arrival time. I take a deep breath and say, negative. Situation under control, prepare team on landing. The voice replies, copy that, stay safe, agent. I hang up, slide the phone back in my pocket, and finally let out a breath I didn't know I'd been holding. You see, up until that moment, everyone thought I was just another black woman minding her business. They didn't know that I wasn't just a passenger. And Captain Reed, that man just pissed off the wrong person. But I kept my face blank. Didn't give away a thing because the game wasn't over. Not yet. The next 30 minutes, they felt like a slow burn. Every time Captain Reed's voice came over the intercom, it was like nails on a chalkboard. The passengers settled back into their routines. Headphones, crossword puzzles, neck pillows, pretending everything was normal. But I could feel it, the shift in the air, like the entire universe was holding its breath. Then the captain makes an announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be starting our descent shortly. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts. People shuffle around. The flight attendants start collecting trash. The woman behind me is telling her son to turn off his video game. Me? I sit up straight because I know the second those wheels hit the ground, everything is about to change. You ever watched a man fall from his own throne? Not literally, but like watch the exact moment when someone realizes they're not the king they thought they were. Yeah, that's exactly what I saw. The second we touch down, the plane lands smooth. Almost too smooth. Like the calm before the slaughter. The second the wheels hit the tarmac, people start unbuckling, standing up way too early, grabbing bags like they're about to sprint out of a burning building. Captain Reed's voice crackles over the speakers. Welcome to Atlanta, folks. Local time is 11:27 a.m. Weather's clear. Hope you enjoyed flying with us. The way he says it, so smug, so casual, like he didn't just spit in a woman's face mid-flight. Like he thought, that's it. No one's going to do a damn thing. I stay seated. No rush because I know what's waiting outside. The cabin door finally opens. The aisle fills up. Everyone desperate to get their bags to pretend this flight was just another Tuesday. And then it happens. 3 men step onto the plane. Black suits, earpieces, cold, unreadable faces. Not airline security. Not airport cops, no, federal. The passengers freeze. You can feel the confusion ripple through the cabin like an electric shock. One of the agents steps forward, voice sharp, professional. Is there a Ms. Layla Brooks on board? Everyone turns to look at me and I smile. I stand up slow, controlled, and when I speak, my voice is clear as ice. That's me, Captain Reed, who's now peeking out of the cockpit, curious. His face drains of color. I step into the aisle, walk past him, and stop. I turn my head, look him dead in the eyes, and say batch loud enough for the entire plane to hear. By the way, Captain, I forgot to mention something. He stares at me, confused, mouth slightly open. I flash a smile and lean in. I'm Special Agent Layla Brooks, Federal Bureau of Investigation. You could hear a pin drop. The flight attendants freeze mid-cleanup. Passengers gape like they just witnessed a murder plot twist. And Captain Reed. Man's face crumples like a cheap napkin. But I'm not done. The agents behind me step forward. Captain Jonathan Reed, You are being detained under federal charges of assault on a federal agent as well as violation of passenger conduct regulations. And the cherry on top, the old dude who sat next to me, Grandpa Cholesterol, blurts out, "Holy hell, he spit on an FBI agent. That's the dumbest thing I've seen in 70 years. The passengers start whispering, pulling out their phones. The entire plane becomes a courtroom. And Reed, he's guilty before they even cuff him. The agents move in, read him his rights, walk him down the aisle in front of everyone like a parade of shame, and me, I follow behind. Calm, quiet, like this was just another Tuesday, because here's the thing. He thought he was untouchable, that he could humiliate me, spit in my face, and walk away like nothing happened. But the sky doesn't belong to people like him anymore. When I step off the plane, there's media outside, flashing cameras, reporters shouting questions. And as they swarm the scene, one microphone catches my words. Let this be a reminder. Racism at 35,000 FT still illegal. I keep walking, no looking back. Because today wasn't just about me. It was about every single person who ever got spat on, literally or figuratively, and was told to sit down, shut up, and take it. Not today.